Elon Musk is tearing our government apart. Okay, yeah, you know that. Elon Musk is one of the richest people in the world, but he thinks that Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Elon Musk is a lot of things. And he's also just kind of strange. And one of the things that we did a segment on was the drug use of Elon Musk. And given that that's publicly available information, we don't know how much that contributes to any given episode that he has, or crazy tweet storm, or his body and eyes moving in all these funky ways at different events. But speculation gets prompted by videos like this one's now most recently going viral. And let me play it for you, and we'll discuss some different components of this. This is a second channel video. Thank you for being here. Click the subscribe button, and then linked below, as always, is our main channel.
Yeah, and refurbishable might be a better word. But where do you think it failed, and where do you think, like, what lessons have you learned that you know you're not going to be making on Starship? To, like, do a mission. You're just trying to get data out of the thing.
Yeah.
So just this head movement, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, is that some completely separate condition or something? And I'm very sensitive to those things, even with someone I don't like. So I don't know, but the kids would say, he's high, high as a balls, like this stuff like that. I don't say that, but other people say that about him when they see a clip like that. But obviously one of the most iconic ones was he was standing behind Trump, and like he was being taken over by a demon or something, he started having these movements. And given how much power he has, it's perfectly reasonable to say, why do you look so high at an inauguration? Are you making other critical decisions with our private information and our entire government whenever maybe you're not in a completely sober state of mind? Now, the one drug that's talked the most about with him, that he's talked about his use, is ketamine. The Atlantic reports what ketamine does to the human brain. Excessive use of the drug can make anyone feel like they rule the world. And then other headlines: Elon Musk's unhinged behavior raised concerns about drug use among SpaceX executives. That was from the Wall Street Journal. And then Fortune saying Tesla SpaceX leaders concerned over Elon Musk's drug use report. And in the description, we'll also link the video I did on our main channel about that article. The Atlantic article is a really interesting one, because there's components of it that you want to handle with tact, and then other just kind of funny things like, what's going on here? Which I'm going to play this for you, and then I'll show you a comedian who supported Trump, but this imagery of sort of a guy who seems all out of his mind sometimes. And I say that with the utter gravity for the statement. And it's also just kind of awkward, fine, personality quirks. Ooh, but the aesthetics of him with his hat and his glasses and the chainsaw as he's destroying people's lives, that's going to be really detrimental. To have this villainous, druggy sort of, in certain scenarios, aesthetic that is fueled some by speculation, some by just our eyes seeing what we see, that's not a good look for the guy that we're supposed to trust with our entire government, right? So we'll get to that critique from someone who normally would be more sympathetic to this position. But first, clips like this don't help, where his delivery is a little funky.
If you got to protect the First Amendment, it's not much more important than that.
Yeah, I mean, I got a lot of criticism, and people said, well, that proves he's a huge idiot from he voted for whatever, $44 billion, and now it's worth like 8 cents. And
it's not worth 8 cents.
It was essentially to buy freedom.
Don't say yeah. The other host goes, yeah. He didn't say it.
Essentially to
Essentially. Yeah. I love that word, essentially. Wait for him to make his point before you do that.
Buy freedom of expression.
Right. Now, Tim Dillon, who was very, very sympathetic to the MAGA cause, and I would say is sort of a MAGA guy, but feeling a little discomfort now with the Elon of it all, is pointing to, again, I started the segment with, there's important things. His mannerisms, stuff like that, usually something that's just not even a concern of mine, and I want people to be as quirky as they want to be. With him, when there's mindset things involved, like, is he making decisions while on something, or documented are him having these long drawn out periods of time where he's not sleeping and he's completely sleep deprived, and then he gets in these kind of these episodes where he's making wild decisions back even before he got in the government. That's all now on the table because we need to know the guy who has all this power, what the heck is going on. But even aside from the most important sort of policy things he's doing, Tim Dillon makes an interesting point here, which is the vibes of it all, the aesthetic of it all. It's not, perception is reality, and people do care to see someone who's this cartoonish, literally swinging around a chainsaw, talking about cutting our government, then cutting people's benefits. It's one thing to do the policy thing, but then when people see that aesthetic attached to it, it's going to add to the rage, as it should.
Susie Wiles, they just leaked something where she was like, we got to message all the stuff you're doing up there. All the stuff that Elon Musk is doing, we have to message it. We have to tell Americans why it's happening and how it benefits them. Even if it's lying, we have to do it. It's politics. So here is Elon Musk with a prop. He's so high. I do respect how high he is. I do miss and love drugs. I really do miss and love drugs. Oh man, he's high. He's feeling it. He's rolling right now. I mean, it's just.
That same question, they're also talking about you guys are going to end Social Security, you're going to end Medicare, you're going to end these things. I don't imagine that conversation has been had with the president, and that's the plan.
No, in fact, the actions that we're taking with the support of the president and the support of the agencies is what will save Medicare, what will save Social Security.
Yeah.
I'm heavily critical of I do like the glasses, and he is clearly copying me, and
if all the money is spent on paying interest on debt, there's no money left for anything.
Yeah.
Can we say that without the chainsaw and your 2-year-old in the White House and all that? Is there a way to do that? Can you play the meme thing where he goes, I've become meme, and it just doesn't land, and you're like, oh boy. We need Trump saying this, by the way. We need Trump more front and center. This guy can't be the only person that we see every day. I mean, it just can't, this is not feasible that you elect one guy and then, here we go. Yeah, this is just.
I am become meme.
Oh boy.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
I'm living the meme. It's like there's living the dream and there's living the meme, and it's pretty much what's happening, you know.
Oh boy, this is not good. I got to be honest with you. I don't think this is good. This is not good. Sometimes the optics are the story, meaning what it appears becomes the reality. Whether it is or isn't the reality, it actually becomes the reality. And I think they have to rein him in over there. He's having fun. Here's what I will say. It is fun to be a billionaire and on ketamine and running around with a chainsaw. I would do it. I'm not above doing it. Do you understand? I'm not saying I'd make the cuts he's making. I don't know all of the cuts. Some of the cuts seem to make sense. Some of them don't. They're getting rid of a lot of IRS people. I do kind of agree with that. Personally, I don't need everyone looking into where I am. Where am I? Who knows? Where do I live? Whose business is it of yours where I live? I live in a different realm. But I just think this insane, like his appearance, which is, I guess, like the sunglasses and everything, kind of what I'm doing. I'm a comedian who has a podcast on the internet where I talk about things. He is a special advisor to the president. I know that he's having fun with it, but there's got to be a way to present this where he seems less high. I've said that to my friends. Can you just seem less high? I'm not saying don't be high. Some of my friends cannot function without drugs. I don't even want to be near them without drugs. I just mean be less high. Just be less high.
Yeah. So again, someone who was very supportive, it appears. I didn't really keep up with him. But of Trump is seeing what we see, which means I think a lot of people, I mean, of course he's satirizing it, but that imagery of one of the richest guys who's also just a very unserious presenting person. He presents in a very unserious, silly, goofy way. And sometimes there's videos of him, again, we'll go back to it, doing whatever the heck this is with, watch, ready? It's like, and I'm taking over. Ultron commenced. Yeah, I don't know what that is, so I don't know, but it's not going to hit people right when then in their lives, his actions are ruining things. And so the reason I'm saying this is because the politics of it's going to be attached to Trump and the Republican Party. And the Republican Party is Trump now. And so it'll be, wait, Trump, you had the awful judgment to hand over to that guy with the sunglasses and the chainsaw, the government, and then he ruined my life? No, that's not going to work for us, right? That's why I think almost on Trump's behalf, Tim Dillon's afraid of, and a lot of these other people are afraid of when they are distancing themselves from Elon, which is that he's a policy poison, but he's becoming a political poison. His popularity has collapsed because, again, people don't want this. They don't want this guy with his fingers all over all of our info and crushing whole institutions of our government, saying the anti-fraud force being the National Labor Relations Board. No, that's the pro-labor, sorry. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, and then the pro-worker protection group, National Labor Relations Board. He's just gutting them. Tim Dillon brought up the IRS. I hope that was a joke. That's not a reasonable thing because it's losing the government money to not have the enhanced resources to go after wealthy tax cheats and get the money we're legally owed. It's a very important thing to invest in, and that's why Trump's gutting it, is so his wealthy friends can get away with more tax cheating. Again, click that subscribe button. I appreciate you watching this video.